Right now, it feels like literally everyone in the tech world is obsessing over the exact same massive names. You hear about GPT-5, you hear about Claude, Gemini. And look, don't get me wrong, those are incredibly powerful models. But while everyone's been hyper-focused on that closed ecosystem race, a Chinese AI lab called Z.AI quietly dropped a dark horse that could completely upend the entire industry. It's called GLM-5.2, and let me tell you, this isn't just another incremental update or some minor benchmark story. No, this is about what happens when a genuinely capable, massive-scale model gets released into the wild for absolutely anyone to build on. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down exactly why GLM 5.2 changes the game entirely.
Here's the game plan for today's explainer. We'll start with the disruption, then move to core architectural pillars, followed by real-world practical workflows. After that, we'll do a limitations and hype check, zoom out for the bigger picture, and wrap up with final thoughts.
Okay, let's dive right into part 1, the disruption. Let's look at how this is flipping the open source world on its head.
So here's the current state of play. On one side, we've got the expected contenders, those closed models. They sit safely behind APIs, they've got strict usage caps, and their parent companies tightly control exactly what you can and cannot build. You're basically renting the ecosystem, which honestly can be incredibly frustrating for developers. I mean, when you rely on a closed API, your entire business model is completely at the mercy of a massive tech giant. They can hike prices overnight, deprecate the version you just spent 6 months building around, or suddenly introduce censorship that breaks your specific use case. But then on the other side, we have the disruptor, GLM 5.2. This is a genuinely frontier-level model released straight into the wild. It totally flips the script because it takes the immense power usually hoarded by tech monopolies and hands it directly to the open source community. It's just a fundamentally different philosophy on how AI should be built and owned.
Moving right along to Section 2, Core Architectural Pillars. Let's look under the hood at how Z.AI is engineering the future.
1 million. GLM 5.2 features a staggering 1 million token context window. This is the first foundational pillar, and it is absolutely massive. We aren't just talking about a slightly larger input box where you paste a couple extra paragraphs to summarize an email. No, a 1 million token context window fundamentally changes how you structure your work with artificial intelligence. Instead of dealing with tiny, isolated fragments of data, you can now process full, comprehensive systems without the AI ever losing the broader plot.
To put that abstract number into perspective, think about a massive novel, like War and Peace. That's roughly 580,000 tokens. Or imagine gathering an entire startup's documentation. The pitch deck, product specs, customer research, financial projections, the whole shebang. That might sit around 300,000 tokens. GLM 5.2's capacity dwarfs all of that at a full million. It can hold all of those massive documents in a single conversation simultaneously and reason across every single page at the exact same time without dropping a single beat. It's wild.
Which brings us nicely to the second pillar. It's built specifically for long-horizon tasks and multi-step agent workflows. You've probably felt the pain of using older models where they just degrade over time, right? Like you ask an older AI to help write a 50-page business report. On page 1, it's sharp, it nails your tone perfectly. But by page 15, it's completely forgotten its initial persona, lost the thread of your argument, and sounds like a generic robotic chatbot. GLM 5.2 is architected to fix exactly that. It maintains its state, it plans forward, it doesn't degrade during complex multi-step actions. That makes it perfect for automated pipelines, where the AI acts as an autonomous agent executing a long-term goal rather than just being a simple Q&A bot.
And here's the third pillar. And honestly, this is a huge one. The MIT license. This goes in the exact opposite direction of frontier models today. You hear open source thrown around a lot. Take Meta's Llama series, an incredible suite of models for sure, but it uses a pseudo-open license. If your app hits a certain number of monthly active users, suddenly you've got to go ask Meta for permission, and commercial usage gets restricted. The MIT license, zero strings attached. It is pure, unadulterated open source. You can use it commercially, you can modify it, you can build proprietary products right on top of it. No royalties, no lock-ins. The weights are completely open.
All right, part 3, real-world practical workflows. Let's take all this theory and actually put it to work.
Imagine you're an entrepreneur or part of a scrappy startup team. Think about your typical upload package, your business overview, market research, competitor analysis, product roadmap, website copy, and early customer feedback.
In the old workflow, you'd be bouncing between 6 different AI chats to process all this, right? One chat for marketing, one for research, and you're stuck playing the human glue, constantly copying and pasting context back and forth. But with a 1 million token window, you literally just drag and drop that entire list of documents into one single window.
And then you just give it a prompt like, create a complete 30-day launch strategy. Cross-reference the competitor weaknesses with our product's strengths. What you get back isn't generic cookie-cutter business advice. Because the AI has all the context loaded simultaneously, the output is heavily customized. It actually knows your competitor's specific weaknesses from the research you provided, and it actively maps them against your unique product roadmap. It gives you actionable steps your team can execute right now.
Let's look at another scenario. Say, a marketing team building a brand new campaign. Your upload package this time is your brand guidelines, top competitor ads, the last 90 days of customer reviews, website traffic data, and deep feature documentation. Again, throw it all into the model at the exact same time.
Then you hit it with this. Build a 30-day marketing campaign, align everything to the brand voice, and exploit the competitor gaps. This completely illustrates the paradigm shift here. The AI synthesizes your brand voice, competitor positioning, and the actual language your customers use all at once. For a marketing department, this turns what used to be weeks of manual data crunching, endless meetings, and drafting into literally minutes. It transforms AI from a fancy autocomplete tool into a genuine strategic partner that truly gets the whole nuanced picture of your business.
Okay, moving to Section 4, Limitations and Hype Check. Let's get real for a second. The hype cycle in AI does everyone a massive disservice, so we need to look objectively at the reality here.
The very first limitation to call out is that real-world validation is still pending. Right now, API access and those open-source weights are slated to launch next week. That means we don't have wide-scale independent benchmarks from the global developer community just yet. Zeta II's internal numbers look amazing on paper, for sure, but until thousands of developers get their hands dirty and stress test this thing through messy, unpredictable real-world tasks, we've got to remain cautiously optimistic.
The second limitation revolves around a crucial industry term you really need to know: lost in the middle. See, having a massive 1 million token context window doesn't automatically mean the AI has perfect recall of every single word. Lost in the middle is a very real phenomenon where AI models start to drop the ball when trying to pull specific info buried right in the center of a huge prompt. They remember the very beginning perfectly, they remember the very end perfectly, but the middle gets completely fuzzy. Whether GLM-5.2 has truly solved this degradation issue at 1 million tokens, we just won't know for sure until that real-world validation happens.
And finally, we have to acknowledge a somewhat uncomfortable truth. Open source cuts both ways. The MIT license is a total dream for legitimate developers and enterprise builders, but because the weights are completely open, anyone can modify the model to strip away baked-in safety guardrails. We're talking about deployments in totally uncontrolled environments that no single company can govern or shut down. In the hands of bad actors, this could mean generating highly targeted spam at an industrial scale, sophisticated deepfakes, or unregulated localized chatbots bypassing moderation entirely. With totally open access comes the absolute necessity for serious user responsibility.
Section 5. The bigger picture. Let's zoom out from the tech specs for a moment and look at what this signals for the global globalization of AI.
Right now, there is a massive tug-of-war in the industry between centralization and democratization. On one hand, you have closed ecosystems driving incredibly rapid improvement, but strictly on their own terms, locked behind expensive paywalls. On the other hand, you have open models like GLM-5.2 spreading capabilities far and wide. This release is a massive bet on the open side. It dramatically accelerates global access to frontier-level AI. Just think about a solo developer or a student in an emerging market in South America or Southeast Asia. Before, building a serious enterprise AI app meant paying recurring, heavy API costs in US dollars, a huge barrier to entry. Now, they can download frontier-level capabilities for free, dodging those costs entirely. It completely levels the playing field and changes what they can build overnight.
And finally, Section 6, Final Thoughts, the verdict. Let's bring this explainer home. GLM 5.2 isn't just fascinating because it beats a benchmark or has a flashy feature. It's compelling because of the unique combo it brings to the table: a genuinely usable 1 million token context window, an architecture that handles long horizon workflows without degrading, all wrapped up in the most permissive open source license out there. It's an undeniable step toward a much more open future for artificial intelligence.
Which leaves us with one final provocative question. If you had access to a 1 million token context window right this second,
What is the single project, document set, or workflow you would finally tackle that you just haven't been able to before? Think about how that scale could change your day-to-day work. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and drop a comment in comment box.